All right, welcome back. Well, yes, we're talking about today how to improve security. Yes, we've seen the statement from the president saying banditry, violent attacks will end soon. Well, to wade in today, we've got Mr. Fatai Owosheni, former commissioner of police in Lagos, Benue. Thank you for coming on. Good to see you again this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, quite unfortunate. Another scenario played out in Zamfara yesterday. Three people are reported to have been killed, 50, and then some cattle rustlers also involved in all of that. But we've looked at the architecture. We have several comments coming through from different groups now concerning how to put a finger in terms of what we should do. I don't think there can be any one magic bullet to solve this challenge that we've got now. But let's get your impression first of all, because I know that there's usually a lot of focus on what military, their role, how they perform it. But do you think that the police have been neglected when it comes to tackling internal security for a start?
There is no doubt about that. And of course, maybe I should start with what General Aguero said in 1966. And in order to get it right, I will quote him. The police have become an indispensable organ of government in any civilized community. They are a powerful element in the community. They are a powerful element in the strength and weakness of any nation. Indeed, as law enforcement and correction agencies, their roles in the mainstream of any society is distinctively important. And when you have such an institution and yet it remains the least catered for, you would have this. Yes, I may be biased towards the police because I was a policeman. I want to challenge anyone that would say that they can carry out internal security operations as the police would do. But when you have such an institution with a body of personnel that are in and out of service are ill-motivated, they in everything the police is shortchanged. We've mentioned it here before. Everybody has been coming up with so many suggestions. Everybody has become professional in police work.
If you don't mind, when you say the police is least catered for, in what regard in particular? Is it in the area of budgeting, of funding, of kitting? What exactly are you talking about?
Security is about the most important obligation, provision of security. It's about the most important obligation of government to the public. And the main institution responsible for carrying that out is the police. And what do you need for policing? It is not about creating all sort of institutions. People have been talking of state police, local government police. What makes the police to perform is the tools that you provide for them. It's about how you boost the morale of the personnel. We've mentioned it here before. If you are going to police the whole of from Magodo up to this your station, which are the Sherry Police Division, and the police division has to do with nothing, because I will call it nothing. You have to, invent a way of carrying out your responsibilities. Then where do you expect performance from? We've said it before here that at a point in time that some of us joined the service, we met some of these things at Shagamu Police Division, where I started my policing work in 1985. We had 2 lorries. We had about 4 Land Rovers. We had a filling station, which we call fuel dump. We had a mechanic workshop. We had policemen rank and file that are given the 2 pairs of uniform every year with 2 pairs of shoes, with rain cape, with cardigan and everything. The officers that normally buy our uniform. We had this uniform brought in from England, Marvel Fair, subsidized. And that was why then you see police turned out immaculately. We had a forensic science. I was discussing with friends. Someone saw something online where I think it's Philippine or so, where they were parading police dogs and whatever. And the person put a question mark. When will Nigeria get to this? Nigeria had gone past that before. But we had a systematic, decimation of the police in terms of funding, in terms of proliferation of security institutions. I met in the Nigeria police force, police dogs that had police numbers, that were given ranks, that were deployed to go and for detective work. I met a police in Force CID Alagbon Close that we had the best of fingerprint experts. The CBN, some of the banks used to come and poach them. We had a police you had a police college. Your station ran a documentary on police station. As of that time that you did it, it was seen as if the Inspector General then instigated it. No, I think you saw it. That was the same police college where some of the best brains in the police, the highly professional officers trained, that when you are there and you take a picture and you say that you are in Wakefield or you are in Scotland Yard, people would believe you. All Greens. That is the same police college that trained the nucleus of the Nigerian customs, the prisons, and some other police and immigration from other countries. And everything, get on, being taken away from the police. And of course, rather than focusing, just like Yoruba will say, that one fetele one palakpalakpa, you left leprosy and you left leprosy to cure leprosy. You are curing just rashes. And that is why you now see people that are actually supposed not to be involved in internal security. The other institutions may be laughing at the police now. Everybody may be making a caricature of the police. The whip with which they beat the first wife or the senior wife is right there. So because those institutions that are being used now, especially the military, they are being taken out of their primary responsibilities. And that is why you see a weak military now.
But then, Mr. Osheni, what this will also suggest is perhaps the police, given even all of these wonderful things that you have said, that the history where the police is coming from, one thing that anyone would probably say is, look, how come you guys waited for so long to let things get so bad before we got to where we are?
If we are talking of the police has no voice. The police is an orphan. You would not see any Inspector General of Police or any senior police officer come out to come and say this is what we are going through. I want you to know that. If you want to get the police in the right perspective, not setting up so many committees and whatever with people that don't know anything about the police. Some people, a committee was set up, they were talking of SARS. SARS is just an infinitesimal unit of the police. And by the way, there wasn't any problem with SARS. It's just that we had someone who came and refused to follow the extant rules and regulations through which that unit should be run. And they made them a monster. It's just to go back to extant rules and regulations. The extant rules and regulations, if you follow them to run the police and you provide for the police, you will get it right. And why I'm saying that, people will not come out. No Inspector General of Police will come out and say, oh, I'm being deprived, because you want to sustain your position.
But then we have a Senate committee on police. We have a House of Representatives committee on police.
All of them are complicit, because the part of it, people in the Senate will come and tell you, the head of government, the governors, the politicians will come and tell you that the police is being misused. A senator will come and tell you that the police are being used to carry handbags. Carry handbags for who? They, the people that are complaining. Why can't they surrender their own first before they make noise? And once they get there, I've said it here before, you are elected a councillor now from nowhere at all. you have reached that status where you have a police used as a chattel to stand behind you. It's an aberration. It's an enemy. Where do you say that?
So for
In
you,
civilized countries, you won't say that, for God's sake.
so for you, the challenge now is that funding is key. But there's a school of thought that also thinks that beyond funding, the structure, we need to revisit it, because they think that the present reality is such that even if you throw all the money at the police, it will come out as though you're throwing money to the problem. You may not get the desired result. So is it just about funding, or do you subscribe to that school of thought that says we may actually need to reorganize the structure of policing in this country?
In every institution, you know, restructuring is something that comes periodically. And for an institution like police, any public institution at all, you have to restructure to meet the dynamics of the society. So that is not an issue, because then when the police was provided for, we've not been having that problem. And by the way, we've restructured and restructured. It's a country,
have we?
Of course, yes. You see, all these setting up committees and whatever, from when I joined the police, started with when the late Chief of Air Staff, Ibrahim Alpha, was asked to, head a committee to look at the structure of the police. That was what gave rise to us having more than one DIG. Before, it used to be an Inspector General of Police and a Deputy Inspector General of Police, as it's still I see. But because of infighting then, the fact that they felt that the Inspector General of Police had so much powers, that committee said, oh, create...
But that's just political, cosmetic, not operational changes.
Operational changes. Later on, we went to restructuring into having zones for ease of operations and administrative control. We've been doing that.
If that's the case, if that happened,
yes.
Why is it that, you were in Benue,
Yes.
the challenge they faced there, it was tough for the police to get a grip and get a solution?
I would not say that. We did the best. When I was in Benue, we did the best.
No, not saying you didn't do the best,
yes.
But we know that there were huge challenges. The killings went on. We've seen what's going on in different parts of the country now concerning the killings, kidnappings that are going on.
The thing is that it's quite unfortunate that we're having this. We remain hopeful because the president has been striving to make sure that they get the police to the level it's supposed to be.
So why do we have these kidnappings going on now? Why is it not, wiped out?
One, we need to be sincere to ourselves. We need to be truthful. Members of the public, including the people that are running the government. If you have a country, all of us know, don't let us deceive ourselves. Even the people that have the reign of power, the political leaders, the leaders at each of the states, they know. When you have a country where it's even some of these political leaders that sponsored organized crime, you saw what is happening in Edo State now, and accusing fingers are being laid on some people. So if you have political leaders, some of the political leaders that sponsor thuggery, that would use organized violence to go and take over State House of Assembly, that we used organized violence to go and remove a governor. What do you expect? And when everybody is talking, everybody they talk as if police is the problem of this country. Police is a victim, for God's sake. Because they will even come and tell you at campaigns, you know what happened during the campaign. Even now that all the governors have been inaugurated, they will even come and tell you, oh, our boys will come out to commissioner, their boys. And once it is when you insist on doing the right thing, that they will now come and tell you that, oh, you are denying them their power of being the chief security officer. When when you do their bidding and you turn your eyes somewhere and allow those their boys that are coming with cudgels,
the thugs,
cutlasses, guns and everything, where do they get the guns from? Let each of the political leaders, let each of the governor come out. You saw a governor inaugurated in Zamfara. And of course, the governor of Rivers State, who came out to say that, look, someone is kidnapped. If I don't get that person within 72 hours, this is what I will do, this is what I will do. Do they not perform? It is for us to come out, and everyone that has a role to play, with the citizens must recognize that there's a civic responsibility they have to play. They've been talking about community policing, as if we've not done it before. Obasanjo launched the community policing. We had officers that have been trained in it. It's just that we are a nation without institutional memory. The Nigeria police is like when the Super Eagles is playing. Everyone is a coach. Even when government set up committee to look at the problem of the police, they don't put professionals there now. Set up, what do they call it? A truth commission, and tell the officers, maybe at the level, at each strata.
But Osayende was a professional. He had a committee. He headed one.
Even before him, I was incorporated into that. I saw it. And that is why I can tell you, even before then, Pari Osayende, the retired DIG, has been, apart from heading that committee, has been part of other committees that were set up. And at every point in time, the Damadami Commission committee was there, MD Yusuf something was there before Mr. Osayende come, and white papers will come out. And you now find out that governments will come in at all time, no institutional memory. Everybody wants to claim that it's me. With the community policing that we were doing before, nobody is looking at it now. The British government came through the Justice for All program. We started the voluntary policing sector. When I was in Lagos, it was quite effective, very effective within that Agege axis. When the fund from the international donor, ended, it's for us, it was now left for us to continue funding it. Rather than funding and sustaining things that have been moving, every government will come and, they would take their eyes away from.
But speaking about funding,
yes,
we have states who, on a regular basis, when governors come in, they usually, you see the materials, the items, resources, they channel towards the police because they want it to work. So why is it that we still say funding is a problem?
A unique example is Lagos State. And of course,
you had the Lagos State Trust Fund.
Yes, the Lagos State Security Trust Fund. It was helpful. Was it enough? No. Because one, government, the Lagos State Security Trust Fund, in fact, it's what every state should emulate because it's unique in the way it is run. The organized private sectors put money. They assist the command with fund to, I can say it clearly, 100,000 naira every month to supplement the 30,000 naira quarterly that the federal government will give. 100,000 naira to run a police station in a month. First, you have to look at the number of policemen. If you have vehicles, yes. Later on, the government came to repair fuel dump and the supply of fuel. But when you look at other things, you probably have to service the vehicles, the personnel themselves. It's the police that is taken as, like you can just pick a cloth there and wear. Some of the other institutions they use, they must give them allowance before they step out. But when it comes to the police, we will say, oh, yes, it's our statutory responsibility.
Are you saying then, Mr. Owusheni, that the police has no blame in this matter at all? Isn't there
the police, I would say, yes, you can say I'm biased, and I saw the police when it was good, up till when things start getting bad. The police is a victim. In and out of service, the police is not taken care of. I don't know whether it's your station that carried the demonstration of some retired policemen who probably retired as DSPs, inspectors, whatever. And after 35 years, that person will leave the police. You are giving him 2.5 million naira as, what do you call it, gratuity or whatever. I've been risked his or her life for 25 years.
Does it make any sense? Is it funding that is responsible for the conduct of the policeman who's out there on the streets harassing motorists and citizens on the road?
Give back. You see, whatever the police do, the police is the most visible agent of government.
So why don't those ones conduct themselves
to
properly?
a large extent, the conduct of the police will reflect and mirror what the people are. And
what the people are?
Of course,
but
yes.
the people are not responsible for
Nigerians, you have to, I have also mentioned it here before, this is about the #1 country that is the most difficult to enforce any law.
Why?
Oh, me and you know, you are probably at traffic with the traffic light. In Nigeria, we beat the traffic, and when a constable runs in front of the car, the first thing you will hear is, "Don't you know me? I'll call the commissioner, or I will call the IG." And if that guy is not lucky, if the person driving is the son or a daughter of the senator, they will even slap him before they remove uniform from him. And there's nothing to protect him.
So the IG cannot enforce the law in that case? So the
That is why
IG, so the police recognize
you must have a disciplined society.
Yeah, so
and society
does that mean that
is not that disciplined? You go to some other countries without traffic lights. We've always said, let's compare ourselves.
Mr. Ocean, what
countries.
you're essentially saying is that
Yes,
the
sir.
police is too weak to enforce our laws.
Nigerians make the government make the police too weak. If you want those guys, the Nigeria police today as an institution probably has the highest number of graduates in its workforce. But you've already taken the pride away from them. If you want them to behave, restore the dignity of a constable. When I mean a constable, restore the dignity of the police as a body, as an institution.
Until we do that, Mr. Wolo,
you have reduced that guy. Look, the people that will make
you are aware, Mr. Oshini, that we cannot wait. We cannot wait.
No.
We cannot wait for anything to, get so, upstate before we tackle the insecurity or insurgency issues that we have in the Northeast. We just heard about Taraba, of Zamfara, and all of those things. So is this the only way we can solve these problems? Because people are dying, Mr. Oshini. I'm sure you know that.
Provided. When you have, we may not want to admit it, there is what they call ungoverned space.
Is that what is responsible for the discipline in the force?
No, excuse me. Discipline is something else. When you have ungoverned space, another set of people will be the law there. It was like in the days of Anini, all the parts where Anini used to take. Anini was the law. That's an ungoverned space. There is a gap in governance. If there's a gap in governance, you will see criminal elements filling that gap. When you now talk of discipline, the Nigerian society have told you, go and bring 10 policemen from the UK today and inject them into Magodo or Ajegunle. Give them 1 week. They will behave like Ajegunle police will behave. Why do we perform well when we go out of this country? I have gone on foreign mission. I've worked as a staff of the United Nations. If you don't restore the dignity of an average policeman, they will remain like that. If you and me, as we are sitting down here, and this is not rhetoric at all, we all know it. All the newly elected people, either as councillors or whatever, if you have reduced your police that is trained with a lot of money to carrying back from madams, and at different points in time, at different times, the leadership of the police had fought it. And when you fight it, it's just a matter of taking the IG to go and report the IG to someone in the villa. Every SA, every SSA, every whatever, even the PA to SA, we also want to have a police orderly. Do they need those people to perform, for God's sake?
Well, we're also hoping that discipline among rank and file will also be taken seriously, because there are established cases of policemen being found to be accessories to crime, renting their guns to robbers. The citizens are not responsible for some of those.
So you cannot rule that out. If you have, there is no institution. You cannot say that everybody in the media is clean. We've also had cases of
this is
let us
force that is funded with public funds, and in the pot, they are
not,
giving guns to take people.
Excuse me.
The training
you see,
that is required has been given to them.
It is not peculiar to the police. One.
So is that an excuse for that
no,
to keep happening?
No, it is not an excuse, but you have to look at you know, all together. If you want to recruit the police in this country, let us be sincere to ourselves. If your brother enlists today and they say, come and do attestation, would you say that your brother is a thief? Before the police recruit, they take the form for attestation to traditional rulers, to whoever, to the local government. And even the boy that is throwing stones around the compound will be recommended. That is one. But there is no way, even in your house, would you say that if you have 2, 3 children, they will behave the same way? That is not to say that we are condoning that.
All right, we have to go. Mr. Fatai Osheni is a former commissioner of police in Lagos and Benue, even though I know so many will say no. In spite of that, if we're giving you public funds, you have to justify that. But we appreciate your comment on this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're back in a moment. Stay with us.